Okay, I'm back, and thanks to the magic of video and editing, I have a rigged ship. So, like I said in my earlier videos, I've followed the guide in the Warlord Games Black Seas book. Pretty much followed that identically. You need to just be very patient, taking your time. Trying to rush things will only end up causing disasters. But you've just got to essentially just fix it at each point as you move along. So start with like tying onto the main mast, glue a little bit glue there, move it to the next point, fix it with glue, move it to the next point, fix it with glue, and so on. Don't try and go through multiple points without fixing with the glue as you move along. That helps the process be a lot less stressful. This was actually, it wasn't too bad actually. It took a couple of hours, so it's not fast, but certainly it wasn't as the nightmare I was thinking it possibly could be. One thing I did learn though, so I followed the guide, but one of the things, one of the steps is the mizzen mast is these supports. You can see it probably better from this angle. Okay, these are what supports on the side. I would do them last, because what happens is you start with threading from the main mast to the foremast, and then from the mizzen to the main, and up the top here, and then you go through a process of slowly going down, leading thread all the way to the bowsprit. And what you're generally doing is the tension is pulling the masts forwards, and it's not too bad in the front ones, but these ones here can go a little bit slack. You can even see it a little bit, but they're not quite as taut as, let me lie this down, use my pointer tool. These ones here are not quite as taut as some of these other ones. These ones have a bit of a twang to them, but these ones are a little bit loose, and that's just a function of the fact that you're pulling the mast forward a little bit, and it just makes these go a bit slack. So what I would do is I would, instead of doing this step, which I think is about the third step, I would save it to the last, and that way you can introduce some counter tension like this to tighten those up. So that would be the only thing I would do differently from the guide, is just change the order a little bit and just make it so that this one is pulled a bit more by the tension in these stays here. That'll at least pull it tight and keep the tension. But besides that, it's yeah, it's done. It's I did mention all the tools that I used. There's probably one more tool that you need, and that's actually an extra pair of hands. It can be a little bit finicky at the time, and not having this, if you had this like clamped in a base so that it was not moving, that probably would also help, because as I was trying to pull the cord and that, sometimes the model would move a little bit. So if you had this sort of clamped into something that was not going to move, then that would probably help with keeping the tension on the thread before you glue it. But yeah, so it's, I have got some videos I took of me actually doing it, but I don't think it really makes good television. You can just see me fiddling and fiddling and fiddling as I do it. There's no tricks, I think. I guess you've just got to fix the glue at different points as you move along, so that you keep the tension and don't rush it. And like I said, just do this bit at the end to bring back some tension into those stays there. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So now I'm going to do the ratlins, which I showed before, where I'm going to have to cut them into shape, glue them into position, and then probably paint them, and then all I'll do then is I'll go give the model a quick once over with some bits of paint, touch-ups or matte varnish to, if any of the super glue is showing a bit shiny, I'll just use a little bit of matte varnish, paint it on just to dull that down, and then glue the mast in place, it's not the mast, the sails in place, using some gel super glue this time. I think that's a pretty good idea to use the gel super glue and glue that onto the yards. You have to curl the sails around something like a pencil to introduce a curl because they're completely flat. So you want to make them look like the wind's billowing, so you can curl them around a pencil or a bit of tubing just to introduce a curl to them. Then glue them on. So there you go, the rig ship, one down, 14 more to go. Oh dear, I'm going to be doing this for weeks. Okay, all done. Cheers.